Hey, Zena, how you doing? I'm good, thank you. In here, but now I think I got fixed. There we go. How is your Wednesday so far?
It's good.
Hopefully good, but relatively uneventful.
How was the rest of the beach time?
It didn't end well. Yeah, you know, they're kids, so, you know, they just do shit. And I can't hold them to too high a standard, but, you know, William, I hold a little higher standard. He's older and just better behaved, but he still managed to, in non-swim attire, you know, shorts, but still non-swim attire, get completely soaking wet.
Course.
And, you know, like, got himself in the water when he knows he should have done that. And Cece was just like a nightmare with the bicycle the whole time. So yeah, and then she Peter pants like 3 times.
3.
So it was just a rough day. It was a rough day overall. And we had some very stern talkings to. We came up with a new reward system of marbles in a jar, and the more marbles you get in the jar, the more good things you've done. And it seems to be a pretty good visual representation of their behavior that they can get. And then, of course, if they fill their little jar with marbles, then they get, you know, something special, either, you know, special dessert, treat, or something like that. So, you know, we'll see. We'll try this one. Patrick, long time no see, brother.
I'm still recovering from Murph.
Oh, that's not.
Oh, Jesus. I got to show you.
I worked out yesterday, but I just did my own thing. But I did do Murph on Sunday, and it was hard. It was real hard.
So I got to show you. I upgraded my shit here.
Oh, you got a sight on there?
I got a sight on here, and I got my 50-pound limbs, which don't look any different. But I got a sight. It's only 3-pin, but I look like I can add more pins if I wanted to. And then I actually did a little tuning and made some little quietener, whatever you call these things, little dampers. Yeah, it's actually just torn up t-shirt material, but it makes a huge difference in the sound. And I got a little finger tab as well. And so yeah, now this thing is really hard to pull back. It's 50-pound limbs.
Yeah.
But it is fast, man. It is fast and it is quiet. And I am drilling these arrows through the hay bale into the backstop every time. Like,
let's go up to Redwood.
Yeah, we got to go. I want to get a little bit more range on this because I've only shot it at 20 yards. And I need to figure out my sighting. I think I got it pretty good. I've actually got an arrow rest coming as well. I bought a whole bunch of stuff on Amazon, but it's all coming in different like bunches, different order shipments.
Yeah.
And so I've actually got, I'm down to 3 functional arrows. So I lost some at Redwood. I shot a lot with these. And so I broke off nocks, repaired those, tips, broke some shafts. So I all my gear.
The thing that always happens to me is tearing the fletchings. Like I'll shoot to the back of the fletchings of the first one, and it'll just be fletching off. Like until I get to
I've been only shooting.
I have to just sit on there.
Yeah, I haven't had. I mean, I've torn up my fletchings a little bit, but they haven't come off. These are not expensive arrows. I've been shooting crap arrows intentionally because I knew I would either lose or destroy them. And so they actually just have a plastic flexing. It's not like a feather style. So it's pretty, I know that they're crappy Chinese arrows, but for now they're serving their purpose. And so I feel like I cranked through my first batch of them. I actually ordered a little longer ones. And so now that I've got my bow the way, or almost have my bow really the way I want it, now I'll start really fine tuning stuff. But the first time I shot the 50-pound limbs was very different.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Being compound is totally different, but like drawing my bow, I started at 60 pounds and I upgraded to 70. But that's just the draw. And as long as I can get that back, then it's fine. And then I'm just sitting holding not that much, it's fine.
Yeah.
But learning on the lower is definitely a better way to go. So it's good that you did that. Now you can build strength.
Yeah, and I feel like if I want to like work on form or technique or do drills or something, I can always swap out the limbs. It does not take long. And I got a different string as well. So I upgraded the string, made sure it was plenty strong. So like I've got spare parts and can do other stuff. But yeah, the 50-pound is, it's tough, man. I'll tell you, holding on target. It's not so much the drawing back, it's drawing back and sitting perfectly still until you've got it and then releasing. It's like, oh man, like that's why compound bows exist, because it's just so hard to hold it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I shoot a compound, because I'm not trying to make bow hunting harder than it already is.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm still glad I have it, and I'm actually really interested to see what my range is now like. I could shoot at basically a 45-degree trajectory and get the 25-pound limbs to like. They'd go 100 yards, but no, I really don't think I would be. No, I was literally aiming like that, like just trying to like, each shot was left, right was definitely like aiming, and then the up down was just a guess.
You gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, it's gonna.
There is other parts of the course.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like a lot of the time, I wasn't even getting to the 100-yard target. So, yeah, it's been interesting. But now it's going to be totally different now. I'm going to need a few rounds through Redwood to get used to these bigger limbs. But I'm up for it. It's fun. And they are satisfyingly powerful. I would say loud, but it's only like loud in that, like, it's actually quieter now that I've quieted down the bow, but they whack into that target like, whoo, good stuff. Anyway, Zena is enthralled with our bow, our archery conversation.
She's fully warmed up already.
It's just neat toys. Oh, of course she is. It's she's fine. She knows what to expect now. All right, so before we get into the workout, for anyone who's watching on Facebook Live or watches this later, I just posted today on social media, I got a duffel bag to do with what I wanted to do with. This was a little while ago. I was trying to decide what to do with them. And so we just started a raffle. I posted it on social media today. I'll email it out as well. So it's $5 per entry per bag. So if you wanted a chance to win both bags, it's $10. You can enter as many times as you want. You can buy as many raffle tickets as you want. And we have 48 hours, and then we will raffle off the winner, or pick a winner and send you the bag. 100% of the proceeds for it are going to go straight to the Bail Project, which does a whole bunch of advocacy work and basically bails out protesters right now. So we're just going to try and do something good for the world and give you guys some free shit. So if you want, go on. It's on our Instagram, our Facebook, and if you just go to our website and just go to sequoiacrossfit.com/store, It's right, can't miss it. So share it with everybody. I don't care. You don't have to be a member to win. I'll send them on to whoever. We'll figure that out. So yeah, cool. Our public service announcement for the day. All right. Our workout for the day. Starting with our dumbbell sumo deadlifts and dumbbell floor press. So we're going to do 12 minutes on the clock, and we're going to do as many as we can climbing the ladder of dumbbell sumo deadlifts and dumbbell floor press. So what are dumbbell sumo deadlifts? What are dumbbell floor press? So I'm actually going to go pretty heavy with this today. I'm going to go with my 50s. Okay, and so sumo deadlifts, we're going to start with those weights on the ground. Now, I don't really care if you have them going left, right, or if you go more hammer style. There's benefits and drawbacks to each. This is much more like an actual barbell. So maybe that's what you want to work with by having them left, right. That's more comfortable for me. And you can certainly do a mixed grip kind of situation on these, although it's just not as necessary. That mixed grip is really when you have a barbell, helps with that twisting action so that your grip is a little bit easier. So I'd probably just go overhand with this, right? So we're going to do a sumo stance, which actually works out really nicely with your dumbbells because you've got to have your feet outside your dumbbells. Big chest, tight abs, hips go back, and we're just doing sumo deadlifts, okay? We're not doing the high pull, just a sumo deadlift. And we want those dumbbells to touch the ground each time. Okay, so round one is 1 rep of that, and then 1 rep of the floor press. I'll show you that in a second. And then you go 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4. Okay, so your floor press, you're going to be on the ground, and it's basically like a bench press, except you can't go as far down. Be right here, and you're going to go right here, floor presses. Okay. Now, as I said in the email today, there is a hidden movement in here of the burpee, because you've got to go from your deadlift, lay down on the ground, do your floor press. Then you have to get up, deadlift, lay back down, floor press. You're going back and forth between the two movements a lot. So getting down on the ground, getting back up, that's your burpee. Although you're not facing down, it's still the same kind of deal. So be aware that that's going to be some work. Getting up each time is going to become more of a hassle, but it's going to happen less frequently the higher up the ladder that you climb because you're doing more reps of each movement. So just be ready and practice that transition. One of the things that I really took from my triathlon training that applies to this is the saying, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Okay, so don't try to rush through your transition. Smoothly go from one to the next. And that might mean slowing it down a little bit, but in the end, you're going to end up moving a lot faster overall. Okay, so again, 12 minutes on the clock, starting with 1 sumo deadlift and 1 floor press, then 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, and so on. You're going to climb pretty high up the ladder because these are pretty quick movements. Again, I demonstrated that with 50s. That's probably what I would do this workout with. Of course, you can scale down, so maybe 35s for ladies might be our RX weight, somewhere in there. Totally appropriate, okay? Obviously, the limiting factor being your chest and tricep strength. Okay, this can be done with a barbell. If you don't have dumbbells, I know, Patrick, you do have both. You have the choice. So pick your poison. Cool. Questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, play along. All right.
For the transition, you put down the weights in between, right? It's not like trying to get back up while holding the weights, right?
I think it's going to be tricky to hold on to them. I'm sure if this was the CrossFit Games, they probably wouldn't. They'd be rolling up and rolling back down and holding on to it the whole time. But, you know, just be safe. Don't risk dropping them on your knee or toe or anything like that. Just, yeah, I'd probably just put them down. Yeah. So, you know, dumbbell deadlifts are tricky because you are going a little bit lower than your barbell. So really keep that back flat, especially you, Patrick. You've got that history of back stuff. So just be really conservative. Keep that belly tight. All right. We are ready to start. 12 minutes on the clock, starts in 10 seconds. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. Looking strong, guys. Coming up on the halfway point. You're a little over 5 minutes in. Got a little over 6 left to go. Good job keeping that back nice and flat, driving those hips, quick transitions. All right, 4 minutes to go. Final third of the workout. Big sets now. All right, 2-minute warning. There it is. Here's your final minute. Final 60 seconds of work. Thirty seconds. Fifteen seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Good work. From what I could tell, you guys are at like what, around a 10 or so, a little bit right around there?
Yeah, I finished 10 and I was on set 11.
Yeah, 13.
13. Oh, wow. Good job.
I really
Very good.
procrastinating about asking someone about switching 20s for 25s.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think there's a point of diminishing returns, really, going lighter and lighter, because the transitions still take time. The reps take a little bit of time. But yeah, the lighter you go, the faster you'll get through this one, for sure. It didn't seem like either of you were, I think you both nailed it as far as the weight, because it's not supposed to be like, oh, I can't get another rep of the floor press or whatever. It's just supposed to slow you down.
Yeah, I was going kind of slow on the deadlifts because like I used to pull sumo with a barbell, but like that's from higher. So it's like really weird starting from that low in a sumo pull.
It's really weird. It's really weird to go that low.
So I had to really slow that down to make sure I wasn't like rounding off down there.
Yeah, and that's the problem when we're doing dumbbell stuff that's any sort of ground to, from the ground. So snatch, just because it is so far down, your barbell is what, 9 inches off the ground, and your dumbbell is what, 3, 4. So it's different. That's usually why when we're like doing cleans, you only have to touch one head of the dumbbell to the ground, and deadlifts too to some extent. But yeah, it's an extra challenge on that mobility. So way to be careful with that. You are two of the people that I do not need to worry about form with, because you're both diligent. And honestly, I've said this so many times, I'm like a broken record. Sometimes an injury makes you better at this stuff. So not that I wish pain, or not that I revel in your pain, but the fact that you've gone through some injuries and diligent rehabilitation, and now you know how to be really conservative and careful, you're actually better off. You probably have stronger cores and better form than if you had never had that problem. So blessing in disguise, silver linings, whatever you want to call it. Good stuff. Well, we got lots of time, so go ahead and catch your breath. We'll get ready for part 2, which is actually 15 minutes of work. It's another AMRAP. Okay, and it's body weight only, bear crawls, walking lunges, and sit-ups. So I actually came up with a good solution. Did I leave them out here? Because it's so damn hot on these mats by midday, really by mid-morning, that I found my nice little workout gloves, so I can still do handstands and bear crawl stuff on the mat.
Oh, that's a good idea. I was going to say I'm going to sub the bear crawls because I don't want to go out on the hot pavement.
Yeah, but these are just like my all around like work mechanics gloves, and they're pretty good. So yeah, I can still feel the heat of the ground through them. So they're not a total, total fix for it. But for our bear crawls, for those of you who watch this later, whatever else, get our equipment out of the way. Bear crawl, we're looking for hips above shoulders, and our bear crawl is right there. We're doing 25 feet of a bear crawl. Okay, so figure out what that distance is for you. And then we're doing our walking lunges. So we do want to step through on these lunges ideally, and we are going to take a step. The goal here is to have 90-90, all right, in those legs and those knee joints. So 90-degree angle in the back knee, 90-degree angle in the front knee, and stepping all the way through so that your back knee touches the ground. Don't jam your kneecap into the ground and damage your patella. Just step through, tapping the ground each time. Going twice as far in those lunges, going 50 feet. Okay? Then our ab mat sit-ups. You don't need an ab mat, but God, do I like them. They make my back happy. So my ab mat sit-up. Whoop. Soles of the feet together. Come on up. Make sure your headphones don't fall off. Making sure we're coming shoulders in front of hips at the top of that rep. And we are doing, did I say 15 of those? What did I say?
Looks like we've done this before.
We may have done this one before. Bear crawl, walking lunge. Yeah. Bear crawl 25, walking lunge 50, and ab mat ups. As many rounds as possible in 15 minutes. Yeah, it's a good little triplet. It's good, 3 good body weight movements. Kind of annoying, but not so much so that you can't do anything. It's not handstand walk, for example. Comments, concerns? Ready to party on those? Let's do it. Let's get 15 minutes of work in. We'll probably end up finishing up early today. All right, starting with your bear crawls in 10 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, guys, first 5 minutes down. Got 10 to go. Keep it moving. All right, we are past the halfway point here, kids. 6.5 minutes to go. fair bit of work here, probably getting heated up, especially if you're doing the bear crawls. That'll keep it moving. "90 seconds left, guys." All right, final minute. Final 15 seconds, guys. Last push. Here it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. 15 minutes of fun there. Woo-hoo. That probably was a sweaty one. It is balls hot outside. I know Zena's got her air conditioner, but still.
That was hot.
Yeah, I was up early today, obviously, for the Move, Breathe, Meditate, but I didn't participate. I set it up, and I was going to go for a run. I was like, oh, should I go back to sleep, get some more rest? Like, no, I'm going to go for a run because it's going to be hot today. And then I got like sucked into 50 million emails and all this stuff. So I did not get to go for a run. And now it is oppressively hot. And I don't feel like rallying everything to go for a swim, which would be the other good option right now.
Would you go swim in Alameda?
I have. I've been to Alameda Beach, which is actually pretty good because you can just walk out. But it's just so crowded there. There's a lot of people and everything. There's just a lot going on. So the place that I actually go to train is down, is actually still just off of Jack London Square in the estuary. So where Lake Merritt drains into the bay, there's actually a little rowing club and a pretty good parking lot and free parking. And you can jump off of little docks right there. And so you are in sort of like that shipping channel there between Oakland and Alameda. But as long as you stay close to the shore, you're totally fine. And from those docks out to basically out the rest of the estuary, you turn right and go towards Jack London Square. And if you go all the way to the Jack London Pier and back, it's a mile, exactly a mile. So that's a decent swim.
Yeah, a mile is more as much as I ever want to swim at one time.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't swim. I'm sure I don't swim as well as you do. You know, you were much more competitive in it than I was. But my pace of swimming is just sort of like, it's like, as for triathlon, you're just sort of cruising. Like you're not trying to sprint because you're going to blow up. So, it's basically going for a wet jog.
Yeah. I went with my team out to Alameda, and it was my first time swimming in like months, and it was brutal. Like we did a mile, and I was very slow. Like there were moments where I just like stopped swimming and just like floated for a little bit because I was like too tired.
Yeah. Well, and if you're used to lap swimming, lane swimming, then open water becomes like a whole different psychological thing because it's also like there's no end in sight kind of thing, and psychologically it's kind of taxing. I actually can't stand swimming in a pool anymore, like just staring at that black line back and forth.
I think sighting is like, it works like having to lift your head and do that like mid-stroke kind of like glance ahead, like just adds that extra layer of fatigue that like
yes, it does.
I don't have. Like when I used to play water polo, like you'd swim head up all the time.
Sure.
But now that I don't do that, it gets tiring doing that. So I'll just keep my head down for a really long time and just like trust that I'm pulling evenly.
I know that I tend to pull right because I've got uneven shoulders and I just don't have perfect technique. And so I try to correct left and I still am going right. So I have to regularly spot and sight. And it's an extra element, but it's also like, it's just a skill to develop. You get pretty good at barely even coming out and just doing like a head roll.
Wait, Tina.
And
Hi.
Wait, Tina.
Wait.
How many rounds did you do?
Wait.
How many rounds?
Yeah.
5 and a couple reps.
Okay. I lost. I stopped counting. It wasn't very high. But okay, so I was around 5.
All right. Bye.
See ya. Holy.
But yeah, it's another skill to develop. But yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I like doing activities that are like real. Like I've got to get from point A to point B. Like how do I get there? Open water, as opposed to like some arbitrary contrived thing. I don't know. This feels more like cool.
Yeah, we did the Trans Tahoe relay.
Oh, nice.
One time, and that was super fun. Just the whole idea of like, oh, we're starting on this side of the lake and we'll end over there.
Yeah. I have a buddy who did that. I forget how many people were on your team.
4, or no, 6. Sorry, 6. And my team was all like really competitive, like ex-collegiate swimmers, and then me. And
sure.
So we did really well, even though I was just dragging ass for my 30-minute leg that I did.
Sure. So everybody did 30 minutes. Is that how it broke down?
Yeah. So that one, it's a time thing. So everyone does the 30-minute leg, and so every 30 minutes, swimmers swap out. There's a boat going along with all the team in the boat, and going alongside the one swimmer. And then after everyone's done one leg, then it goes to 10-minute legs. So then everyone goes through and does a 10-minute leg, and then it repeats with 10-minute legs until you finish.
And how long did it take you guys total?
I think it was like 4 hours or something. I think 4 hours, 13. I think it was 4 hours, 13 minutes. We got second in the just for fun division. because we had, I think we had 4 guys and 2 girls, so we couldn't be a mixed team. Like for the there's like men's teams, there's women's teams, there's mixed teams.
Sure, I'm sure. Yeah, they have all those rules, I'm sure.
And then they have open, which can be anything. But when we were originally 3 guys, 3 girls, and then someone had to drop out last minute. We had to replace them, and we called the meet director, and they're like, "There's a lot of people in the open division, so you should just do the just for fun division."
Yeah.
Just to make sure that the divisions are kind of even, and so that meant we were swimming against people with wetsuits on, basically, But we ended up getting second in just for fun, which was sweet.
Nice.
Our time, I think we would have been.
But you didn't swim in a wetsuit?
No, none of us did, because it was middle of the summer. It wasn't that cold. It was pretty good, actually.
Yeah. When I did Ironman, it was up in Tahoe, and so that was in the lake, and it was 2.4 mile swim, and it was September, but it was unseasonably cold, and it was fire season, so like they almost canceled the race because of smoke, and then they did cancel it the next year because of smoke. There was another fire, but the big thing for us was it was freezing cold, and the night before it actually snowed. And so the roads were iced over. So there's a question if we could safely, because on the bike course, there's a big descent, and you hit 50 miles an hour on that descent if you stay off the brakes.
Roads are icy. Did they salt those roads, like the whole thing, or?
They did. They did a lot of work on the roads, and we did get to do the full course. But because it was so cold, the water was also really cold, and that water, it had been cold for a while, and so that body of water doesn't change temperature very quickly. It's just thermodynamics. Yeah. And so when we started our race, the air temperature, like the fluctuations and everything, were so different that actually, even though the water was unseasonably cold, it was like 50 degrees. So like that's anything below 60, and you probably want to wear a wetsuit. And sometimes, like if they say it's over 55, that you cannot wear a wetsuit for certain races. So like it was definitely on the cold side, but the air temperature was 30. So the water was 20 degrees.
Yeah.
The water felt amazing. So it was, we were freezing our asses off getting in. The beach was frozen, and so every time you took a step, it was like you were breaking ice crystals with your feet.
That's fucking crazy.
And then, so the water was 20 degrees warmer, which we didn't realize was a problem until the sun came up. Because once the sun came up, we saw that there was a layer of fog over the water, and you couldn't see the buoy.
Sight.
So we couldn't sight at all. So people were literally swimming like this in different directions. And so you just had to kind of, hope and pray that you were going generally the right direction until you got far enough offshore and close enough to the buoy that you could see it, and then you switched directions. And then once the sun really rose, it went right at dawn was the start gun. So still a little bit dark, but as soon as the sun really got up over the mountain, it like hit the water, and it was like, you know how clear that water is. Incredible. Yeah. I have like a photograph seared in my memory of like pulling, and I tend to breathe left and looking over there, and the water is completely transparent. It's so clear.
You can see really far.
I could see all the way down, like 60 feet down, and count rocks on the bottom. And then I saw a swimmer way off to my left that looked like it was a woman, just floating in the water with like sunlight, like beams streaming around her. I was just like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, this is really fucking cool. It was the best swim I ever had. And I swam pretty fast. Like I finished pretty well, and I was disappointed. I was like, oh man, I wanted to go do another lap. Like it was 2 laps. Like I really want to go back out in the water. It was awesome.
Were you wearing a full body suit? Like not a wetsuit, but like full body suit? Like,
no, wetsuit. I was wearing a wetsuit.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like to swim in a wetsuit. Because if you get
I'm so used to just my
once
Speedo.
It fits right, if you get one that fits you right, it's like your shoulder, you're more buoyant, so you swim faster, and your shoulders warm up better. And I just swim better. I swim better in a wetsuit. I'm just used to it.
I think when we swam, the water temp was like 58 or something. It was pretty warm.
Can you try not to get my computer wet? Oh, my wife's pouring water.
All the water that came out of the shower that she put in, and she said 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go shoot bows and arrows, shoot guns. Ryan wants to join for some gun shooting because he got a new gun, and Jorge, and then we're gonna have to go for a swim. We're gonna have to bro out.
When do you want to go shoot the bows? Yeah, I know you've always
got the kids.
Yeah, and you've always got the or we've always got the happy hour thing at 5. So, like, would it have to be early afternoon before that?
Probably, or on the weekend, which is totally fine too. I can go anytime on the weekend.
Do you have the kids this weekend or no?
I do not. I have them now, so they'll go back on Friday. And I don't think we have any weekend plans other than like little to-dos, like home improvement to-dos around here. So this weekend's probably best.
Let's do Saturday.
Yeah, let's go. Time and let me know.
All right.
And I don't think I have anything.
All right. Yeah, you don't have to.
I'll check with my boss lady, but
do you lead a class on Saturdays? I've never.
No, there's no class.
Okay. All right.
I don't have any obligations on the weekends. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's shoot for Saturday, and I should. Let's see. I'll have my new batch of arrows comes in on Friday, so that's perfect. Otherwise, I only have 3 arrows left.
Yeah, you'll have enough to actually shoot.
Yeah. I don't get my arrow rest until I think Monday, but that's okay. I've been shooting off the shelf.
So. For my Murph on Sunday, I did 53 minutes,
right.
53:31 with the vest, which is like a 2-minute PR, and I did it without a vest last time. So this CrossFit seems to be working a little bit.
Damnedest thing, right?
Yeah.
Damnedest thing, right? Hey, it's not just glamour muscles.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Matt. I'll shoot you a text about this weekend. What time?
Yeah. Awesome.
Right.
Thanks, man.
See ya.
See ya.